I got another one here for you today, boys and girls. So the last video I did was taking apart a Super Chuck. I think it was a Jacobs 14N Super Chuck, and that video was very popular. Got literally pairs of views. So I figured I'd do another one on this Albrecht. So this is actually a pretty nice article. This is a keyless chuck, 1/32 to ½ inch, so I think that's more or less their standard size. Unfortunately, the last dickhead that owned this wrote his name on there. Looks like it's Bouchel, as far as I can tell from the poor writing. More like fucking Douchel, if you ask me. It's really annoying whenever anybody writes their name, or inscribes their name on a tool. I understand why they do it, especially if they're in a shop and other people, or there's basically if their stuff is at risk of getting snagged by some other prick. Understandable, but I mean, shit, man. Could you pay attention? Do half a nice job. Write your name in not a shitty way. Anyway, so that's annoying. Doesn't really impact the function, but it would be nice. At least I would have the opportunity to write my own name in a fucked up way. I guess I still can. Maybe I could write Bouchel, Douchel, whatever. Anyway, this one, it's actually it's in really, really nice shape. It's not really very gummed up and nasty at all. It probably doesn't really need it, but I want to take this shank out, which is ½ an inch, depending on what I'm using it for. I want to put an R8 on this, and I'd rather just have an R8 shank instead of this ½ inch where I have to use ½ inch collet. Anyways, so the way we're going to do that, conceivably you could drill and tap a hole, buy or make some kind of a puller. There isn't any way that I can really see that you can very easily get some wedges in here and wedge it out like you can with taper shanks. What we can do is we can take it apart and get it from the inside, basically press it out, put some kind of a pin or something in there to press it out. So that's what we're going to do. So we're going to pop it in the vise. These Weta screwdrivers are generally, well, I think they're pretty much the best. I rarely use them because they're so nice. I don't want to screw them up. But in this case, that's a very fine screw head, and I want that to fit properly. Then I just use one of these Harbor Freight deals to get in here and spread that collar just a little bit. To get this apart, we just unscrew this part. You can kind of see the split line right here, so we're going to unscrew this. So we need to secure it, and usually what I do is you can either grip it here. The body is a little bit thinner up here, so you can sort of deform it and kind of screw with the threads. So we're going to grip it down here. And we have our handy strap wrench. That should be enough. These things generally aren't on too tight. Wow, that guy is really on there. Okay, so we're having some trouble with that. So we're going to step it up to using this pipe wrench. We're going to try and do that very carefully. Got this brass shim stock, so I'm going to try and protect the knurling with this softer material. And then use this pipe wrench to bite into the brass, and hopefully the brass bites into the knurling and doesn't fuck it up. Ooh. Alright, so that thing does not want to come apart. Cut the end of that off so that I can fit here in the middle, because I was bumping into the vise. So now I'm hoping I can get a better grip on it. So far we haven't fucked up the knurling, but there's still time. No. Dude, that thing won't move. Alright, boys and girls, we're gonna have to come up with a different strategy. I'm gonna have to make some kind of a sleeve, basically like this for that, so that I can clamp on it and then fix that in a vise or some shit. Man, that just won't move. It's weird because I've done a couple of these. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this piece of scrap that's a 1/2-inch aluminum plate. We'll cut a square out of it, and then I'll bore a hole that is the same diameter as this guy, maybe a thou or two of clearance. Then I'll cut a slit in it so that I can take that square, clamp it in the vise. Instead of grabbing on only four corners, which probably amounts to I don't know, maybe a total of a 1/4 square inch of surface area, then I'll be gripping on virtually the entire surface area of this ring. I'll be able to grip it in the vise better, and hopefully we'll be able to stop this thing from slipping. I'm going to assume that these two factory edges are fairly flat, which for precision purposes are definitely not, but I think for our purposes are fine. And I'm going to assume that they're square with each other. The one I just milled is pretty square with this factory edge, so I'm just going to square this guy, call it good. Okay, now we got the block line down in the vise, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to indicate off of these corners. I know I measured roughly how big it is, so I'm just going to indicate off of the edge of the jaw. I'm going to indicate off the edge of the piece. I'll find the center roughly, probably plus or minus, I don't know, 5 thousandths, maybe 10. Then we'll drill our first hole, then a bigger one, then we'll start boring it out. Okay, we got the boring head set up. So I got this nice boring head that I got for a fucking steal from the same fucking stupid asshole Bushel that can't write his name for fucking shit. Apart from having that dipshit's name inscribed on my nice new tool, I'm pretty sure this is brand spanking new, like never used before, brand new. I got it for just a fucking murderous deal. This and a 16N Super Chuck in pretty good shape. It was like $50. It was criminal. Anyway, so we're gonna put it in low gear, and we're just gonna take it real easy. I like to use the let me see if I can show you. I like to use the automatic quill feed function on this guy, and so we're gonna see if I can remember how to fucking use it. Sweet. That was sweet, dude. Alright, we did it. We got our piece, and that fits. There's our slit. It's gonna slip right on there. That's gonna work, fucker. There it goes. Jesus, that was a fucking bitch. Alright, so we got that bitch apart. Jesus Christ, that was tight. Really not bad looking on the inside. I mean, it's a little bit gooey, but, you know, there's no damage. This thing looks great. So we're just going to do a hot bath in soapy water.
This should come out, right? Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's just heavy, heavy grease. Normally, I wonder if somebody else has been in here. I always tend to think that, but then I want to press out this shank. And there's our bearings, and they look beautiful, basically. This whole inside of this thing looks great. But I'll still clean it out, re-grease it. First, let's grab this guy, take it over to the press, push out this shank. Alright, we're all cleaned up. That's... Yeah. So, all cleaned up, nice and clean. So I'm just going to kind of spray them down with some WD, wipe them down a little bit more, and then put it back together, and then we're done. Alright, let's see what we got here. Looks really nice. Basically brand new. Except for that fucking douchel booshel fucker's name on there. And I'm using that WD not so much as lube, but as corrosion resistance. And those jaws are basically pristine. Looks really, really good. And I got some new bearings. The bearings that came out of it look pretty good, frankly, but I have some new ones, so I'm just gonna put the new ones in. So right now I'm just gonna load this guy up with some grease. I have some sort of molybdenum disulfide. Sweet.